Oh, hi. Quick one. So, yeah, I don't know where we got up to last time, but things have changed. Things have changed. So, I figured I needed more makeup, more in the range, because the stick was selling well, but we figured we needed more um, makeup. Technical terms you wouldn't really understand. It's very complex. So I've added some more, and I'm not. I'm not well, I mean, I'm just going to do it. So I'm embarrassed with how long I spent on this one in particular. But yeah, so we've got a couple. So we've got this clamshell chap. Let's actually open this on C4D yet. This old mate Moda had to come to the rescue. Let's rename this to Top because that's its name. Oh no! What? Oh, that didn't import its stuff. Oh well, so that's what I got. So yeah, we've got this one. I will quickly fix this and I will show you. I haven't got left here, but it's fine. We done right. I will show you his bits. His bits. Oh, he's not lined up perfectly. Let's just quickly fix that first, actually. So we'll come out of there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to align him up correctly once again. So this guy's made in plasticity, which I've not used in a while, because it's good for this sort of thing. Cause it's like lightweight CAD more than modeling. So for this sort of object, which is a little more complex, I guess, than it's going to make it unnecessarily accurate. There we go. Look at that, wonderful. And then now if we do this, we can see inside. So yeah, here we go. I've literally made it like an actual clamshell because I thought it might be clever and cute. Might regret it, who knows. And yeah, it took an embarrassingly long time because, one, I'm obsessive and I have to make it physically plausible. So I've done enough CAD to think I know what I'm doing, but not enough CAD to actually know what I'm doing. So, but I can design. I've gotten much. I had like a foray into doing proper actual CAD shit for maybe 6 or 9 months a couple of years ago, which taught me a lot about that sort of design process. I love it actually, which made me then make this physically plausible so the lid can open correctly and stuff like this, like a real product. But yeah, it's shaped like an actual clam. I don't know. I don't know if it even works with the rest of the range of products that we've cultivated here at whatever we've called this brand again. But never mind, we'll see. So there you go. So there's that. I need to put a label on the bottom of it, but I'm going to quickly see what this looks like. This is like a speed session, and I wanted to do some more. Yeah, so this is all. Oh, hello, sharp edge. That is something no one will notice apart from me. But yeah, it still pisses me off. This does please me though. Making the top clam the correct way, so we can get the interference. In fact, actually, I think it's not quite right. But this is a late, yeah, it goes almost open. It really should be a straight line, or it should be further offset, because it's like it's a function of like the length of the hinge and the depth of it versus whatever, to make this sort of stuff work. But yeah, that's good. That's good enough. That's a neurotic person's idea of fine. So, you know what? Good enough. So yeah, we've got our little clamshell boy. I thought I'd fix that as well. That harsh transition. The export from we're going to see what it looks like, and that will determine it. So yeah, the export from plasticity is not amazing. Plasticity itself isn't amazing. It's like one of those things that you get software that's like just on the cusp of being incredible. That's plasticity. It's like, and it's I bought it ages ago, just to experiment with, because I thought it was interesting. Because I was off the back of a CAD thing. It's like artistically driven CAD. Have I got installed plasticity? I don't think I do. I do have plasticity installed. Well, it's an old version. But yeah, this is plasticity. I've got a newer one now, but this will do. In fact, actually, where's my grid? Grid's not showing. Oh, fuck me then, I guess. But yeah, it works like CAD. You can do CAD-esque things. So you can be like, oh, how do you do this again? Yeah, draw a center circle. Do this, and then this becomes a surface from which I think it's, what was it? 5. There we go. And yeah, I can do this, extrude a shape. If I go here and select this and then select this, I can then cut that shape out. It's CAD, basically. It's CAD, but for, but yes, CAD, really. But worse. So it uses the same geometry engine called Parasolid that you get in Fusion 360. And Fusion 360 is a CAD package that I know. And it has quirks. And those quirks make much more sense in the context of CAD as they do modeling. In the context of modeling, Parasolid can be a bit magical because it lets you do all sorts of things that feel amazing, but it has lots of little caveats to it, which you have to get used to. And it's just little rough edges in plasticity I just can't super get on with, but it's okay. I think it's all right. So yeah, making a shape like this traditionally, pretty annoying. And then this can overlap to some extent. Oh, no, it's going to crash. There we go. You know, this crazy organic shit. You can just do this and anyway. So yeah, the clamshell's made in there, but it's got little issues. It's Parasolid really, but they don't feel limiting in CAD because you're bound to certain physical reality, right? You're kind of protected from it. So the things that you want to do a lot of the time, you just accept it more. Although the limitations in like the maths or shit or whatever, how a Parasolid works, who knows? But yeah, things like you get these situations where you get these odd little, get rid of the bottom. There you go. Yeah, you get little odd situations like you end up with corners like this. Which, and again, also export from Parasolid is not exactly amazing. So yeah, passable, but I'm not fixing this geometry. Are you? No. So yeah, and a remesh wouldn't work on this either. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, we've got our lid. We've got the little tin the smooth sits in. It's called smooth tin. You can tell because it's the tin with the smooth. And then we've got the smooth. And it all kind of goes like this. I'm just pleased that I've, you know, oh shit, that the top works. Oh, hang on, wait, what's going on there? 5, there we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Grab my top. Okay, I don't know why they make those noises, but it feels appropriate that they make that it makes that noise. But yeah, I spent an embarrassing long time working on this. In fact, actually, can I open the actual? I think I can. Plasticity. All clamshell 2. Dot plasticity open. It wants to. It does. Hooray! There we go. Yeah, here he is. And he's on the wonk. Because whatever, yeah, there's little inconsistencies across the board in Plus. So, for example, this originally was I think the old lid's still here somewhere. What's it's lost the names from the old versions. There we go. So there's that one and that one. Right, so we've got. There we go. Hide that. There we go. Yeah. So here's the previous lid. Let's just turn off some of these. That doesn't work, does it? Doop 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 doop. There we go. Yeah, so this is a previous version back when it was flat. So to cut this out, because it's not modeling, you have to then first delete these bevels, like so. But you've got to find the right point on the bevel to delete it, because not all parts will let you delete the bevel, right? So you go, oh, that's wrong. Let's go to here. And you incrementally find the correct point to delete all the way across to get rid of that bevel, the fillet, until you get to a point back when this is flat again, right? We're not going to go that far because I can't be bothered. And you get these little situations where these don't quite match up, and it's also slightly easier in things like Fusion because you have like a history. So there's this thing in CAD world of like destructive, it's like timeline versus like I can't remember the actual word to it. Direct versus they call it direct. I think it's called direct modeling, where basically it either keeps the history or it doesn't. And the trick in Fusion is you try and keep you have a timeline of every action, and it follows on, right? And the trick is to try and keep the timeline working as long as possible because it means that it's much more procedural. But there's other things about CAD workflow that's different, like when you draw shapes, you have things like constraints, which are then connected to the geometry. So if I say, oh well, this fillet here, or even say globally, all fillets of this type need to be an extra 0.1 millimeter wider, I can update that all in one go. There's more to it, and that's not that straightforward. That is where the complexity in that lies. But it has those systems. We have no such things in here. So if I like, so to put that curve in, I think my curves still exist actually. The ones I've created. There we go. So yeah, I've created this curve here, which means I can do the CAD thing, drag that through there, grab that, click that, and then I can subtract it. But I have this little nubbin down here, which I want to cut off. So I have to put what if these curves had gone, which I did previously, but I can't bother to do now. Cut that through, right? And each one of these things is painful now to get rid of, but it doesn't matter, just for demonstration's sake. Point being, to do this, and this is trivial in software, one, because this is on a wonky angle, it doesn't really like working. To draw another shape, which I think might exist. I don't think maybe I didn't save it in. Did I save it? I think I did. No, I didn't. But yeah, I had to create a work plane, which is like this, construction planes. That's fun. They're back over here before. Okay. Sorry, I'm in an older version. So now, what I would do is I'll create a shape, this rectangle from the center of that construction plane, like that, right? And then what I would do is back in my little 5 mode, I can grab that, use this to delete all of that shit, right through there. Okay, only on this one. So let's get rid of the rest of our things we're not interested in. Boop, boop, boop. Whatever. Is that one? No. Is it you? No, it's not you. There's one. There's what? You're just hanging out here for some reason. Why are you hanging out? I told you I don't want you here. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. Has to be him, right? Whatever, doesn't matter. Yeah. So then I've got my thing cut through. And then I'll do the same here, and I'll cut this off. So I'll grab this, and I'll do another. And things like, in CAD, you can create, I can create a face directly from this surface, which is also not quite there. So someone's gone like, when they created plasticity, oh, this parasite thing is really sick and it is, it's fantastic. But, and then we do this, and we do target boats to cut, and then we do that, and then we've cut this in half, right? And then we go, we'll mirror it. But where it's on the wonk, we do the same here, right? Oop. Although sometimes you should be able to do this, but not always. Because Parasolid is a little minx. Did I really just say that? Parasolid's a little weird little minx. It is little minx. Sounds like, I'm not going to say what that sounds like. It's horrible. Yeah, but anyway, we've got this now. But yeah, so things like that construction plane I just created, which gives me, it rebases it's like a work plane in 3D software. And again, this is also an extremely common thing in CAD, right? Creating these construction planes, many of them, and recording them all later, because they give you base references for certain actions, right? Really common CAD workflow. This one's temporary, but if we come back in here, we should be able to right click, and there we go. It sets that custom. That sets that. I mean, this is actually a little bit nicer than the current workflow, I think. But yeah, and yeah, to try and do a mirror and have it work. I mean, the mirror is not very good anyway. But yeah, it was painful basically. It was annoying, and even rotating this back to a more rational angle, because you can't just like have I mean, you might be able to, but either way, it's not intuitive. How if it is there, I couldn't find it. I'm pretty sure it's not. But having like even like doing a rotation from local normal or from the work plane does work. You can rotate from a work plane, but also you can't set like custom axes for stuff, so things fall out of alignment, and it was very annoying. Anyway, let's stop talking about that because that's done. And hopefully I didn't save. I really hope it didn't save. Either way, I have this now, and if I don't like it, I'll just have to make another one. I'm not sure I do like it, but we're going to find out if I do like it. We'll find out. So there's a pin in the back, there's the smooth tin, there's the bottom, because it's called bottom, and top is above there. It's very annoying. But anyway, right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go, first off, render settings, and we're going to change this to Octane render, just because we want to see how this actually looks. It's about all I've got time for today. Just a quick look, see how this looks, see how we feel about it. Get rid of these materials, don't need it. Boop, boop, pow. Okay, and then we're going to get rid of that. Octane, I'm going to do an Octane specular, because I'm going to try and make this transparent. So it'll be those two parts, transparent. The rest will be different. They might be two different transparents in a minute. We don't know. Do I have? I've got a rendering thing in here. So I'll turn my Octane Live Viewer, and then we'll just open up this material. Oops. Get active. There we go. Close that, and then we'll change this over. I need to set the defaults for this. I haven't done it. But path tracing, and then we'll change this back down to. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to open that. We'll change to 1000. Okay. I think this might work well. And then we'll come over here. So first, we'll go here and we'll just do HDRI, Octane HDRI environment, and then we'll do. Exit that. Exit Steam. And we'll do good old this guy, this interior guy. Give it a second. Give it a second. That's not done it yet. Oh, it has. There we go. Look at that. Wonderful. Lovely. So. Ooh. Holy fucked up normals, Batman. That's a thing, isn't it? Well. We'll see. Let's just do our top. Let's just temporarily we'll open this by 80 degrees or something. Who cares? Yeah, look at that. Ooh, not good. Not good. What's this? We don't want these UVs. Get rid of all these UV tags. Hey. So if I made this frosted, this is part of my concern. You always get with these CAD boys. Is in fact, let's just get let's go Octane metallic, and we'll put that on pin, and we'll do a different. So of course one shiny, and then we'll get a second one. Octane metallic, and then we'll put this on the tin, and then we'll just grab this quickly, and this is going to be a rough metal. It's a really crappy RGB IOR. There we go. There we go. Metallic IOR, and then we're just going to do roughness. That's going to be 0.4. Actually, we're going to leave it on. I can't be able to work this out yet, so we'll leave this on. Whatever. We just want to get some kind of metalness going. There we go. There's that. And then I'll do the smooth afterwards. And then on my specular material, we want to add a little bit of roughness to this because I sort of frosted plastic anyway. Oh, that's cool. And then we just do 0.1. Nice. And then in here, let's change some Octane to GGX. Hey, that's also doing wonders for my problem with thingy. So, excellent. We're going to go to roughness, and then we make this 0.2 for a rough plastic. And then I might quickly try this out. So Octane, specular, what's my index? What's my so let's do 1.45 on there. Fuck it, turn on caustics. It won't do anything anyway. Okay, and then the specular 2, I'm going to put that on the top because I was thinking about making it a different kind of guy. Oh, oh, there you go. Oh, hang on. There you go. Yeah, making it clear on top and then cloudy on the bottom. Or is that crap? It's all of this crap. I'm not sure if this is crap or not. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I had fun, but or is that just better? And if it was coloured, let's make it coloured plastic. Let's make it like a light blue. Yeah. Oh, actually, that's kind of cool. And then my octane metal, we're going to do the same thing again. Basic, metallic, change from octane to GGX, because that's just what you do. And there's a space under here for somewhere roughness down a little bit. There's space under here for like a sticker. And then, yeah, there's my shiny pin, which should be shiny. And let's just do GGX. There should be a little metallic. I'm going crazy. There should be like a little presets, if I remember correctly, for various bits. Let's just make my IOR. Let's just do it. Artistic friendly metallic for now. There we go. So let's just put this on a little floor. Actually, I don't know how big this is at the moment. Oh, it's pretty fucking big. Okay, that doesn't help. So how big should this actually be? That's a good question. Let's find out how big it is. Do one of them. Yeah, so it's 400 centimeters. So let's grab. Oh no, that's not. That's this. It's this. Quartz. Okay. We'll just do this the old-fashioned way. Put it into here, and we'll just grab one of them, and that is, how big's that? Oh, wrong one. I'll do measure. Massive, 100 centimeters. So this needs to be 1/10 the size. It's 99 centimeters long. So it's literally 1/10 the size. Like those. So we grab that, and then we'll just do 0.1. 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. It should be about, I think, about 10 centimeters. Oh shit, about 10 centimeters. What we'll do, get rid of that. We'll see. Let's eyeball it. No, this is perfect anyway. 10, yeah, about that. Okay. Oh. I never really know what I'm doing with resizing inside C4D. I'm so used to it in Modo, where it's like fundamentally quite a different process. Also, the measurement tools are way better. Let's just do this. So I could, but I'm just trying to not wean myself off Modo because I don't like it. I still love it like a son, but it's just too buggy. And it's not getting fixes, you know. Oh, there we go. Let's just get this like roughly and eyeball it. That's close. That's very close. Right. And then what I want to do is we got to put this back in the back in the center. So what I'm going to do is drop to floor. There we go. And then let's get rid of my plane. That's okay. I'm going to get rid of my measure as well. Where are you? Oh dear, hang on. Have I only... Okay. Well, okay, let's do this again. But imagine, do this, but in your mind's eye, imagine you're not stupid. Try that. Okay, so in its widest, I want it to be 10 centimeters in its widest dimension, right? So we'll just grab that. Fuck it, whatever there. Oh, Christ, this is impossible in 3D. Right, grab that there, and then that goes to about fucking there. Shut up, man. There we go. Excellent. And I C4D that to be like, what is this dingus doing? And they'll be right to think that. So we're going to go down to, yeah, let's try and eyeball this down to about 10. 10? 9 point, yeah, that's, I'm calling that good. Excellent. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab ourselves a null, get rid of our plane. I'm going to hide this because you want to see that. It's not useful. Grab this. I'm going to put this into right now. We're going to drop this to floor. And then also what we're going to do is we're going to come into here. I don't think this needs to be... What have I left behind? What have I left over there? What are you? You're... Oh, you're the indicator for the null. Let's just... Dot. Let's make it a locator. There we go. Just so we know. Just so we know. Dots are for losers. Right. We're on top. Grab all our shit. So this null. Let's we'll do that. And then we're just gonna do one of these. That's actually perfect, does it? And this is where I found out later, for reasons, it probably should have been perfect. 0. Okay, right. And then what we're going to do, all this, grab all of these, drop that to floor. There we go. Yeah, that worked. That worked. Drop to floor. Didn't want to drop. Okay, right. What I'm going to do, grab my pin. That's going to be a. There we go. I'm going to do this pin. Boop. There we go. I'm quite good enough. Anyway, we're doing look dev here. We're not doing magic good making times. So let's look at this at real scale. See how that's affected shit. Okay. It looks all right. I might like just do a creative one and be like, oh, hello. Ask a lady and be like, would you make use of this product? And they'll be all like, nah. And they'll be like, there. It's made by someone who knows nothing at all about. There we go. Smooth tin. Who knows nothing at all about. Where is that going? Oh, of course. Let's just. Yeah, my top's hidden. So we'll hide top from render as well. Yeah, my smooth tin needs to be like there. Well, actually, what's going on here? What's going on down here? What's going on down here? Let's get my smooth tin. Let's turn that off from the render, yeah? Oh, smooth. There you go. All right, wonderful. So, smooth tin. God, I'm making such a fucking mess of this. It's fine, though. So that goes to about there. Doesn't have to be all the way in. Where are you? Smooth tin. Smooth tin. That can be rendered now. There we go. Look at that. Isn't it? Isn't it glorious? Isn't it the best? It is a smooth tin. And then we've got our actual smooth, which grab my smooth. That is very much. Where's my smooth? There's my smooth. Doesn't help that. So go to window and then layer manager. It's the axis thing. Oh, no. My actual axis editing. I want to edit my axis. Texture, symmetry, normal editing, modeling setup, no snap. Oh my gosh. Coordinates. Use your mind. Quaid. Use your mind, Quaid. I don't know if that's the line. Probably isn't. What the fuck are we doing here, lads? Hang on. I've got the regular model as well, which has the exact thing. There we go. Axis center. That's what I'm fucking looking for. Right. Wham that in the middle of there. There we go. And then we've got my smooth. Turn that on. There we go. Wonderful. And then it's going to put that on Y minus 100. There we go. Smooth belongs there. And then it goes about there, or anywhere really, in the smooth tin. Oh no. It can't intersect the basey bit, can it? So about there. And then the top. There we go. That goes like that. Okay. Oh, hello. And then my pin is in the... I can't do that in fucking Cinema 4D. Because the axis changes the axis permanently, doesn't it? I think. Yeah, that's it. Actually, let's just do the view, thingy shading. There we go. Perfect. And by perfect, I mean not great at all. And then what we'll do is we'll just change that to 0, and just like no one ever knew about it. It never happened. Don't say nothing to no one about this. All right, we don't need to talk about it. All right. So how's this model different? I think it's worse. I think I just saved the defaults anyway. Well. Great. Okay, so I think I might just ask someone who knows about makeup. Is this I've got a feeling, because I'm a boy man. It's the official term for what I am, not a real man, a boy man. That I haven't got the slightest fucking clue if this is appealing packaging, because I'm not a packaging designer. Believe it or not. This is not my area of expertise. Where's my top? There we go. Why are you like that? You in the right place? I feel like you're not in the right place. Hang on. Top. Let's just hide the pin for now. There you go. Top's in the correct spot. The pin is a idiot. There we go. Wonderful. I'd accidentally blown my top. Oh, I'm so sorry for all of this. And there we go. My top's doing... Oh, hang on. Oh, have I... Hang on. No, I forgot to... Oh, okay, that's not even an oversight. Well, it is an oversight. It's exactly what an oversight is, because I'd forgotten to bring this in. There's a mistake in my CAD. No. Yeah, I needed to... no. That's it's... Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It is fine. No one apart from you will ever notice that. It's a very slight inconsistency, which means it couldn't be an actual physically plausible product. I do notice, though. Am I going to have to go fix it? No, I don't really like using plasticity that much. Stop it. Right, there we go. And then we're going to allow this to render again. And here we go. We've got our... what's going on there for that? I think that might be a little... Oh, no, that's... there's the rim for the sticker. There we go. That's why that's looking like that. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's okay. Let's get like a quick makeup. Let's just do Octane. Yeah, sort of glossy. Well, I'm not on there. Get active. And then what we'll do, we'll make it a makeup-y type color, which I think is something a bit like, be more like a brown. I think that's not very fashionable there. Maybe something like that. And then roughness, we'll just bring that up quite a ways. And that's sort of plausible from a distance. What we'll probably do actually is I will add a bit of noise to the diffuse. So noise, and then we'll grab that. And then my second color will be a variation of that. Good enough. And then run that in diffuse. And then, how big is that? It's probably pretty big, that noise, isn't it? Let's grab that and make it a little darker so we can see it. Okay, and then global scale 1%. There we go, something like that. Make it relative, yeah. And then we'll just unhide that. There we go. It's too big. 0.4. There we go. Bit of that. And then that's probably going to be about it. Actually, to be honest, that's actually plausible for now. I might put a little bit of bump in there. Let's do another noise. Let's do a noise again. Run that in the bump. Okie dokie. And then I don't have power on here, do I? Oh, well, let's go the other way. Let's just go back. That was good. A couple of little notches to go. That there was actually kind of all right. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we will add another noise, and then this one is going to be a mix texture. No mix texture. There we go. And then we'll just do. This is going to be a much smaller noise. I'm going to make this one a 1%. There, and then there, and then like that. Okay, there we go. And then this one. We're just going to do this. Okay, and that's still too big. Let's make that 0.3. Right, there we go. So yeah, if that's our makeup, that's kind of an okay. I mean, actually, probably what we want to do. We probably let's do one more noise. All right, one more noise, and then this one we're going to put into the roughness. Just to keep it interesting, we'll just reseed it quickly. Where is it? Seed 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. Okay, fine. So that's probably that's a plausible enough makeup, I think, for now. Go back to my transmission and make this clear again. I need to figure out the fuck off all over there, the polycarbonate IOR, because this is definitely going to be polycarbonate, something like this. Because also the reason why I say that, I know that's the case because 1.59. Because they want these to not be, well, in modern day, especially premium makeup, they want these to not hit the floor and shatter, because it isn't supposed to be like, the whole point of it is so it doesn't look like cheap makeup. And I'm starting to feel like now this whole idea of making it a shell is a little bit like Tesco value makeup, maybe. I don't know, I have to ask a lady saying, would you buy this, or does it, you know, because packaging, like, I think a lot of this does come down to packaging. Not saying like it's not trying to say, oh, it's a con, but a lot of makeup, I think there's elements to it which I think are value on the beholder type stuff, right? Where it's like perceived value is always a big deal with all products. But let's do this actually. Let's try this one. That looks a bit more useful, I think. Less intense studio. Oh, that is more intense. I thought it'd be less intense. Hang on, let's try that one out. This isn't completely random. I'm familiar with these. just FYI, in case you're wondering. Fuck it. First one was the best one. Right, there we go. So, yeah, a lot with all consumer products is the like the value is in the eating, right? The first bite's with the nose, but for like products, right? So, yeah, if it looks good, then it's something you're more likely to want. And so part of it is the packaging has to have a degree of fashion to it, or anti-fashion. So there's another thing which is quite useful, like a general thing which attracts people is archaic traditionalism. So as much as you have some very high-end, very well high-designed product or packaging, the opposite is true. If you put this into not as bad as a plastic bag, but like a makeshift tub with a label that looks like it hasn't changed since 1994, right, or the 80s or 70s or 60s. That's the opposite of that, right? You see what I'm getting? Like that whole thing of like you buy, like when you buy cans, someone said the other day about cans of tomatoes, right? There's an inverse relationship between the quality of the tin of tomatoes and the logo on the front. Because if it's something where it hasn't changed from forever, you know, they spent too much time thinking about what's inside that thing of tomatoes to worry about changing the branding, and they've realized that actually the heritage in the name and the recognizability is there because they have faith in the product, right? It's like a marketing psychology thing. But on the flip, so yeah, you can either have something very well designed with fashionable, or you can go the opposite way, but you need to get it right. I've had a theory for quite a while actually about the way was it 1.59? 1.59 about the way IKEA designs stuff, where a lot of their designs, I think, they have the idealized version and they make it slightly imperfect on purpose, right? The quality of the design is such that the people there's like fundamental things in design, right? And if it's your wheelhouse, where you can tell this is not my wheelhouse, so it comes across as like okay, but you can see there's a degree of like me versus someone who designs makeup packaging all day. There's an amateurishness that I'll have about what I do when it goes. That looks like a makeup box that hasn't been done by a complete idiot, but it's not necessarily good, you know. As a part of me saying something a bit bolder, a bit more simple would be better than this now. Anyway, point is, I'll say with the rest of them as well. Point is, if I were an expert makeup designer and I worked at IKEA, they, I think, reel back slightly in their designs, or they'll introduce aspects which, like, you ever walked past a product, it'd be nearly, you know, it's been made like China, and it's nearly, they've ripped off like a high-end design of something, like a really expensive thing, and because they've not given a shit, they've put in the words life as a beach on the side of it in curly letters, which completely fucking ruins the product, right? It might be physically good, it might work well, it might be well made, who knows, who gives a fuck, but you don't want it because it's got, instead of just being clean and aesthetically pleasing and designed, maybe like a very small understated logo, you know, the sort of thing that half justifies its cost, it's got like a fucking Tasmanian devil on the side of it, right? It's that, but to a lesser extent, where like the designs aren't, and these people are capable designers, they're extremely good designers they hire at IKEA, they can hire whatever they want. And they have amazing material sciences and all sorts of stuff. They know what they're doing. They're heavily verticalized and like they've lots of vertical integration, efficient manufacturing, and lots of capacity for manufacturing. They can make things cheap, and they can spend more on the engineering. And it's in their interest to spend more on engineering because that's the pioneering thing they did, right? Using good engineering to make cheap furniture that is also quite durable and also something they can pass on to the end customer to do well, right? Anyway, they don't skimp on material sciences and designers. They can get the best people they want to get the best people, and I'm sure they do. But I'm sure they hold back a little bit because it means they have an iteration further than what they've got should they want to change the product in future. So that could be a flaw in the design they might decide to not put enough more energy into. Because engineering costs money, right? For all these things, all these iterations. And engineering's not just like, that's something like, not design, but design's a form of engineering, right? Like, so things like, I know some little tricks from my minimal experience where I know, for example, how this mechanism needs to work, right? And I know that it needs clearance, well, I've fucked it up still, but I know that it needs a certain amount of clearance to allow for this. And I don't have to experiment all too much, apart from I fucked up the curve. Anyway, the point is, there's a few things that I'll get right first time that someone with zero experience won't. And there's things with much people more experienced than me will not get wrong because they have that experience, right? Yeah, I think they intentionally hold back because either for each one of these iterations, so let's say, right, there'll be things about this design. Say we were hypothetically going to go with this, that will be wrong. Okay, so I've done the actual CAD thing, but I haven't done others because it doesn't matter aesthetically. For example, like we have fillets on these corners because without fillets, if there's a manufacturing tolerance, right, in making these holes, you need some slop, right? Or let's say, for example, again, polycarbonate or Delrin, right? Polycarbonate is a more ductile plastic than some others, right? So I know that if I have a tight fit and I force in one of these pins, it's less likely to split because it's a little bit more ductile than a lot of other plastics. It's not as brittle as some other plastics, right? It's more plastic. That's where the word plastic comes from, right? Which means that, like, you put a fillet in because it means it's easier to get a mate between the machine that has to put these in. It would need that slop to have the end of this fit in. I know that this end would probably have a negative inverse sort of thing, like a peen, right? A peen. But yeah, like we'd have like I'll show you, like have a little loop round here, and then this here. Sorry, I'm not exactly an expert in C4D modeling. Would be a little bit wider, right? Just because it means that this can't slide out. You know, little things like that. On the other side, which I have done, this side is rounded because when it comes to this mating side, then I know that, you know what I mean? That's the thing that guides into the hole, which makes it easier to manufacture. That has not only reliability, manufacturing, and also accuracy and assembly connotations. They're really tiny details that matter, right? I'm not saying I'm an expert. I am not an expert. I am still a lay person. Just to show my reverence for the process of this kind of engineering, I cannot say at all I'm anything besides an enthusiastic amateur, right? But it gives you an idea of the delta of the amount you need to know to actually be good at this stuff. Or things like, yeah, like the things that people might forget is to put clearance. This can't butt up against this. You know, if you get smarter, you can use, so let's say the problem which I know exists in this product, which I've decided to not bother doing, is I put in a correctly sized indent to allow someone's thumb to go under it, and also something to grip against, which means that they can get their thumb underneath and they can lift the lid, right? The one thing I haven't got is a friction or any format of friction based opening, right? So there's a lot of ways you can achieve it, right? So if I go through material choice, I'd like, say if I made, or I could do all sorts actually, I could even add like a little Delrin sleeve to the bottom of this inside here, or even make the pin out of something like Delrin, which means I can just use the friction of the pin moving around, know that rod's against the plastic and know the properties and how quickly that will wear out, and to then use that friction to allow it to open. Or I can have a physical thing, so I can have this be, I don't know the name of it, it's like a non something or other thing where this isn't quite circular, it's a little bit off, and it's a little bit off on purpose. That's a bit fucked there. Look at that. Ooh, rubbish. This is a little bit like imperfect, so it's got like a, if I add like a little bit of an elongation here on let's just correct my floor quickly. Just talking about fucking CAD now. If I made this a little bit longer like that, that wedge then rubs against here, and the friction again that can use as a means of keeping it open. Or I could add magnets to the lid, which costs more. It's 2 more parts, it's 2 more processes. It pushes the price of manufacturing up. This is engineering, right? That's the meat and each one of these iterations, and each one of the things you don't know ahead of time, and it costs money to do again, right? Because you have to build this and test it. We'd then have to test every time, and how many, like if we say let's go with this, we'd have to then go and like see if I use a metal pin here, is the part a commodity part? Does it have to be manufactured? There's a cost associated with that. You've got the tooling to be made. If this is injection molded, you have to make the molds, and injection molding's a whole other thing unto itself. And then once that's done, you have to test it. You have to open it thousands of times to see how many times it opens before it breaks. And if you're a reputable company, you want that amount of time to massively exceed by some known percentage the general length that the contents inside will last, right? Because then that means this won't break and the lid won't come off before you've used up all the makeup inside. Engineering's fucking awesome, right? I love this shit. I'm no fucking good at it, clearly, because my lid interferes, because I forgot to do it. Did not know, I did forget, I swear to God. And also, I mean this, I just gave up on it. I've cut corners here. But yeah, that's what I mean. So with that, you can make like calculated either in the design. So you can triple dip, right? You can say we only need to be X amount of durability, because all these things have cost implications, not just in R&D but in manufacturing cost, right? And then also you've got customer retention. You don't want the furniture to last too long because then they won't buy more, but not so long that everyone's like, IKEA's a rip-off, I'm not shopping here again. You need to be impressed by stuff, and you need to work that out against people's perceptions or the cost of something. So IKEA has multiple ranges. Some of them are actually the price of regular furniture, and you know what? It's made quite a lot like regular, pretty high quality furniture, and it's the stuff most people don't buy, but it does exist. They have ranges. And yeah, in terms of design as well, they occasionally retire designs, temporarily or permanently, and when it comes back, or the thing to replace it, they might do an iteration. But also, if they were to do a more expensive version, you'll notice that lack of... I'll show you pictures, but I'm just going to leave it to your own imagination. Let's get you thinking, no viewer. Yeah, it's if I could start my career over and be a product designer, I fucking would, because it's like the perfect marriage of everything I find interesting about design. This kind of product designer. But alas, I have a lot to learn, because it's again so much of this is engineering as well, like basic principles and things like material choice matters so much. And then even in design, you haven't got constraints. You can also go against material choice, specifically to save money, or like how would you manufacture this, right? Even when it comes to injection molding, right? Polycarbonate, I don't think you can injection mold. I think you have to mill it. Can you inject? I don't even know, actually. I don't think it's a thermoplastic, is it? I'm not sure, actually, because obviously I've not used it. I don't think it is. I think you might have to mill it or press it or something. I think you can heat press it, but I don't think you can just pour it in as a liquid and then like have it. I don't know, actually. I'll have to look it up. But anyway, love it. But either way, I think this is kind of shit. I'm gonna ask some before I throw it away, but I don't actually like it. I don't like it. But I'm gonna keep it for now. And if I do want a clamshell. Let me show you some of my other boys. So I've got some other makeup. So I have my which I haven't looked at. I've got about 15 minutes and I've got to go. But yeah, I've got my pencil, which is fun. This is based off a real product. This is based off a pencil by... My wife has some of these. The company is called... oh, I can't remember the company. Anyway, it's a famous German pencil design, but I've riffed on it enough to make it semi non-plagiarism. I need to ask like what makeup this would be, because I don't know. This would be some sort of makeup. But yeah, you've got a little clicky thing on the bottom to click out more of your makeup from the top, right? Simple. And let's see what this looks like, actually, because I did this on my laptop, and for some reason this scene, there we go, would crash on my laptop. Then again, I sit here and I've got this fucking behemoth on my desk for this purpose, and I still sit on my little MacBook Air and do half this modelling because I'm a fucking idiot. So what we'll do, mustard bowl, I didn't use that in the end. Let's just go and create a plastic. So we get an octane glossy material, get active, wham that on the body. I think kind of what this might have needed is maybe like a little metal ring around here. But again, like how realistic would that be, as a thing that you'd do? I don't know. Also, I don't know what sort of so I think that'd be glossy plastic. Let's get an environment in here. Let's just do HDRI, and then what we're going to do is grab in this guy. Might as well. I might use one similar to this for my final render, actually. It works quite well with these products. Okay, yeah, so, because I've not modeled any of the internals of this, it's literally just like a roughly, you can see, it's still mostly parametric, actually. Yeah, I saved my original. It's just a loft and some stuff and a couple of booleans. But that's all this needs to be. Right, so what we'll do, we're going to grab an octane metallic. We'll grab that, wham that on there. That should... No, I put it on the wrong bloody thing. Hang on. What are you? you're him. Get rid of that. There we go. Perfect. And then I think what I'd do is I'd want to make that anisotropic, but I don't really know how to do that. I've been very bad at learning how to do that because I don't do much metal stuff. I'm always robbing off the internet. But actually, I've probably got in here octane materials, metal. Oh, there we go. I've got a load of these. So what this would be aluminium, wouldn't it? So let's do that. How's that? No, a bit crap. Okay, you know what? I'll just. And then for now, I'm just going to add some. I'm going to do the responsible thing. Oh, where's my? Thank you. Change some octane to GGX. Energy preserving. There we go. I was saying earlier to myself, I really wanted to 0.054. I really wanted to. Let's just give this a go. I don't know how to fucking do an anisotropy like at all. I should learn. I should actually bother learning because I want this to be like a brushed thing. Because what I'll do is like something really lazy and like I'll do like a stretched noise around here. But really, it's not. It's or I do like a scratch and make it really whatever. But that's in, isn't it? Is it or is it? I don't know. I don't know. And there. No, we'll just do a scratches and wham this into the roughness. Boop. There we go. And then we make it a bit smaller. Just do a. Let's get rid of that. We'll just go add a. Oh, what? Would they change that? Add a transform. Huh? A transform. Oh, the add a transform button's gone. Whatever. Transform. Make it a little bit smaller. Like that. And then what we'll do is we'd add more layers and then steps. That's fine. Actually, get a little random seed. There we go. And then what we'll do is we will turn that off and then we'll just see? And I'll transform that on there. And then my scale Y, bring that right down. You know, and then I'll do something like that. And that's not really in the spirit of 5 1. Okay. Yeah, see, it's sort of plausibly kind of. That's not very good. Let's be real. Yeah, I'm going to learn how to do anisotropic textures for real. I think that's a little task for me to do. But yeah, let's look at this. So we'll just add another plausible makeup. So we'll just do octane specular. Not specular, sorry. We're getting an octane glossy material. Grab that, wham that on there. And then we'll make this a plausibly makeup-y color. So change that first from octane to GGX. Albedo, we're going to make this like a, I think like a skin colored thing for like a white lady. Maybe a little darker. There we go. And then roughness, we'll bring that up to like and then I think probably what you'd have is that looks pretty plausible already. But what I'll do is I'm gonna. That doesn't want to be metallic, does it? So let's okay. So let's just do a noise. Noise. Put this in the roughness, and then bring that right down. So make that like 1%. How big is that? Not big enough. 0.2. There we go. Okay. Make it actually 0.5. So Yeah, and then we'll have another one of these and we'll ram that into our bump. And then what we'll do is just play with our clips. Okay, we'll just do all of them. Do you want noise on that? I don't know. 0.2. Okay. Do I actually know? 1 second. You know that thing where like you're like, oh, I can smell toast, and you're like, let's just double check, and you walk outside because your door's open, and where you're sat is like a different part of your house, and it's not actually connected to your house. And you go outside, and actually someone outside is actually making toast. No, just me. All right. Well, anyway, that looks pretty cool. I think that's a pretty cool product. So what would I do with my glass? Would this just be glossy white? What would you do with this? What would you do with this? You know? You make it a fun color. What channel am I in? I'm in the roughness. You don't green roughness. Oh, it's fun. I mean, I don't think you'd do that, would you? Because this thing would like, I don't even know how this thing would have a cap, to be honest. I didn't think that far ahead, but it doesn't matter. We're just having fun. We're just making it plausible or implausible makeup. I think it needs like that metal ring or something. But what we're going to do is add a ramp. No, gradient. Thank you. Gradient. Gradient map. There we go. There we go. Wham that into the... Yes, you know, first off, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab this colour because I like this colour. Grab that. Bap. Okay, and then for here, we're going to do a... or normal... No, what's it called? Oh, I can't remember. I need to go in like 2 minutes. Hang on. It's called a... Use your mind. It's not W. It's not that, and it's not W coordinate. It is. Should be world coordinate, W coordinate, but it never does work that way. No, never. See, yeah, it doesn't ever work that way because it's based on the world. So if I did this, yeah, it's just too annoying to use. It's the problem. It's got no inputs. So it is a oh, use your fucking thinks. Do a think on that. What's it called? What's it called? What's it called? What's it called? It's called a... It's not a transform to matrix. Use your mind. Where is it? It's not that either. Just grabbing them out. Why can't I remember the name of this fall off map? There we go. Yes, it's fourth map. There we go. And then normal versus vector 90 degrees. There we go. Okay, great. So, right, what we're going to do that. Flippy Roo. And then Yeah, so we'd make that. You know? Is that fun? Is that a waste of time? I feel like it might have been a waste of time. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to save that quickly because why not? And then my last one, and I've got to leave, is if my Windows thing will open, I have. So I've retroactively renamed my original one as Twist Jelly. And then this last one has got a bit of, oh, I forgot I did that. Has got a little bit of, and it's got a cap as well, this one. This is a more plausibly thought out product, but still not entirely plausible. But yeah, this actually has got a bit of branding on it. It's called the Orb Stick. And then it's also got, has it got the barcode in the back? It doesn't have the barcode in the back at the moment. It should do. Yeah, and it's a little twisty guy at the bottom. Left it grey for now, and it's got its lid. Where's its lid? There's its lid. It's got a little cap. And two things I know from product design school, which I didn't go to, is there's two problems with this actually, to be honest, which I don't think anyone knows from real, because it bulges a little bit around the middle, which is, I think, is fine. It has to because of reasons, but this still wouldn't roll. But this is why this is tapered into a square, so it can't roll away. But it probably would still roll because it's wider in this dimension. So whatever. It looks fun though. But yeah, you'd need to have, there'd be an injection molding little dimple here because that's what they are. And also most caps like this, I think like there's some legal mandate to stop like have holes in them, so if, like kids swallow them or some shit. I don't know. I've never made a makeup stick pencil. So there is that. So yeah, I've got my original one. So I've got my clam, which I think I'm going to get rid of because I don't think I like it. I've got the stick. I've now got my original Twist Jelly, which I think I'm calling kind of done for now. I think it's this one is the most recent, I think. Give it a second. And this one is oh, hello. Where's your logo gone? I think I've broken it. But that looks a bit like that. Let's get rid of the cap. So, is that because that's on the thing there? User data. Yeah. There we go. Stick, use data, and then cap displays turn off. There we go. And I've actually got lying around a couple. I don't know if these even open on Windows. A couple of renders from here. Will that work? There we go. So yeah, we've got this in a few different colours. There's that one. So I think it's the last one I did. I need to relink the things in, but I'm pretty happy with how this is going. It's just now, yeah, that's staging now. Just to sort of see. I like this orange combo. I don't think I saved it just because I'm dumb, but whatever. Yeah, so now I've got 4 products. I've got my jelly stick, I've got my pencil, my twisty stick, and then some sort of powdery clamshell thing. I'm thinking, because these are all like, so with the exception of the clamshell, which is me riffing on a thing, these are all based vaguely on either real products, or like for example that twisty stick one with the long lid. That's a pretty straightforward thing. You have to get a few of like the dimensions right because it's like, I don't know, like make it similar to what people are used to, so it seems plausible. This is the only one I pulled up my ass, and I think I don't like it. Another fun one before I go, last thing I'm going to show off is this inane bullshit. So in the spirit of being completely unnecessary in making stuff, so here's all the logos. There we go. So we've got, I think it's, I've not even really done a very good job of marking out where they are. Anyway, there's one, and there's a blurry one there, which is for something I never used it. And there's one for the stick here, which doesn't have a blur because I don't know why it doesn't, but it doesn't. I'm not using it anyway. I think I did something else. I can't remember how I put the bump in before. I did a different way to get the bump in. And then, yeah, there's this thing, which is horrendous, which is a barcode maker. So I can just grab a seed and it just generates me a barcode. And I stopped short of doing the numbers as well, but I very nearly made it. So I did the numbers. I do not need to do this. But it felt like while I was being excessive and making graphics in Fusion, I thought I might as well just do it properly, you know? So yeah, get a little random barcode. Oh, the odd one's a dud. Don't look too close. There we go. That was nice. But a barcode maker, why not? So yeah, it's getting close. And like now I need to move into more. So I started doing some sweets. So I was speaking to a friend, and I've got like 2 or 3 ideas for how to stage these as ads. So I think pretty soon, it's not going to take me very long to get the other 2. I think I'm calling the twisty stick effectively done. Once got some makeup in there, I need to do a brand new one of these. Took a few hours the other night, but I think it was mostly because I had to relearn. That makeup looks good though. The makeup itself looks really good. Shocked at how good that is actually for something I'm not putting much effort into. I might keep that. But yeah, so I might just do something a little bit simpler. I think, honestly, what might be cool is if you played with the dimensions and made it a bit more contemporary. And if you make it just sort of like with the handle with the hinge hanging off and make it a slightly wider hinge, so maybe like this wide. I'm gonna get my little pen out. I reckon like if you made it like a hinge like that wide, slightly wider, and just made it like a slightly beveled rectangle, like that. See? Definitely. Let's just go into top view. Yeah, so it would be a slightly wider hinge, and then probably like that, and then some slight, ever so slight bevels on there, and I keep the top completely flat. I think that'd be my idea. Yeah, I think that'd be that. I think that'd be the one. I don't know what I've done to my camera. It's gone somewhere. There we go. But yeah, dude, is this bad? I'm gonna just show someone this. I'm gonna fire a couple of renders and be like, "Would you buy this product?" And the answer's probably gonna be no.